I believe we're having a major breakout, and it's been started by Google, whose parent company is Alphabet, and by Microsoft, who both reported great earnings, especially Google. And it was kind of unexpected from Google. So I think this is the beginning of sending this bull market into a more established bull market. And I think it foreshadows what's going to happen with Meta. So I think Meta is going to follow with great earnings also. And I'm going to tell you why. First, looking at Alphabet or Google, its symbol is GOOGL. They reported 74 over $74 billion of revenue, and that's up 7% from a year earlier. Their cloud computing division, which is central to their artificial intelligence strategy, their revenue was up 28%. So the various divisions within Google are reporting good earnings as well. The revenue is up 28% from a year earlier, and they have had a profit of $395 million in their cloud computing division. Also, their advertising, which is so central to Google, is up about 3%. And in particular relevance to this channel, their YouTube advertising revenue was up 4.4% from a jump in ad sales. This information from Alphabet, from Google, indicates that Meta's earnings are probably also going to be wonderful because they both rely so much on advertising. Microsoft, they reported good earnings. They had record sales and profits. Sales increased 8% from a year earlier to $56.2 billion, and their profit was up 20% to $20.1 billion. The result beat analysts' expectations. It beat Microsoft's own expectations. There was a little bit of a cloud, so to speak, cast over the results because the Microsoft cloud demand decreased. But on the other hand, the revenue from their artificial intelligence, in particular from ChatGPT, has yet to hit the balance sheet. And we expect that that's going to continue to increase. So the good news is going to be even better in the future. In other major news, Elon Musk is killing the birds at Twitter. He's expanding the site to include fintech, to include payment services. He wants to make it the everything site, that it'll be both a social media messaging site and you can do your payments on it and financial dealings as well. And he's experienced in this. Some of the first major money he made was he was involved in helping the creation of PayPal. He just needs another ambitious product, and a site that does everything will be quite ambitious. But it's nothing new for Elon Musk, and I wouldn't put anything past him towards accomplishing it. It hasn't really been going that well so far, but I believe actually this is, I didn't think much of the idea at first. When he said he was changing the logo to X, just because that's kind of hard to relate to. But I guess that's part of his brand with SpaceX and his predilection to like the symbol X. So I think it'll go over eventually. It's a work in progress, and I don't think he's devoting his major efforts to that as someone else is CEO of what used to be Twitter. are they going to call it X? It seems kind of hard to brand it that way. But this symbol is interesting, and I think he just wants something generic that means that this is the site for everything. And there are social indications that we are returning to better times. Theaters finally get a break with Barbenheimer. And that's a combination of a double feature of Barbie from the Barbie and Ken dolls. That's made by Mattel. And they're combining it with Oppenheimer, who developed the atomic bomb. So it's quite an interesting combination to put the creator of the atomic bomb with Barbie. So we are living in different times, but it did outstandingly well. In fact, theater revenue right now is the best it has been since April of 2019. Barbenheimer made $235 million in the first week. $155 million of that was for Barbie, and about $80 million of that was for Oppenheimer. So there's better times ahead, at least for the theaters, maybe. Another major indication is that Taylor Swift is having the most successful concert tour in history. It's projected she's going to make $1 billion, taking $1 billion of sales from her concerts, which is just out of this world. So what is happening? Why are things starting to work? I think we can finally give Jerome Powell some credit for finally starting to do things right. I think we're on the verge of landing the soft landing without crashing and burning, which it'll be the first time this has ever happened. So if we get through this, it indeed is different this time, but it's going against history. History says it can't be done, that you're going to crash and burn, that you're going to have a recession. I think we might have a recession, but I think it's going to be mild. Wilson, a longtime bear, has finally admitted that he's wrong. And basically he's saying if a recession doesn't occur by September or October, it's probably never going to happen. So, and when you have someone that's that strong on the bearish side come out and say this, I think it's time to take notice. So it will be a case of this time being different, which will defy all historical precedent, which you want to hesitate a little bit on that. But I think we have good times, at least for a while. I'm a short-term trader, but I've gone from being a day trader to I'm letting it go. I'm triple leveraging the QQQ, the 100 largest companies on the NASDAQ, with a TQQQ, and that is risky, and I can't recommend it to other people simply because you have to be experienced with it. It's meant for short-term trading, but I'm leaving it on simply because the signs are that we're going up. And I am of the same opinion that if we don't have a recession by the end of October, it's probably not going to happen. And so I'm going to let TQQQ ride as long as it can ride until it shows signs of a major downturn. And then if the recession, crash, whatever occurs, then I will switch to SQQQ. So QQQ is my thing. I do the bullish side of it. I do the bearish side of it. Right now, I'm very bullish on it. This is not financial advice. You have to find your own way and find out what's right for you. For most people right now, QQQ is an ETF, which is the 100 largest companies on the NASDAQ. That probably would be most appropriate for most people. But I think you could make good profits in that without having to choose the individual companies. Thanks for listening and watching. Be sure to hit the like button and check back for future information because we have some exciting earnings coming in.